Dakota, Woody. I got pregnant on an IUD, and if you want to hear the whole story, keep watching because I never thought this would be my story, but it is, and I am so glad that it happened. I just hope that this will bring some type of joy to your life today, even though it's just a story about me and how I came to be a mom. But anyways, I hope that you enjoy and continue watching. Okay, I'm in my husband's office right now, and I have wanted to do this for a really long time, but I just haven't actually done it. So basically, I saw our pregnancy announcement pictures from a year ago yesterday, and I just couldn't believe the craziness and where we are now. Excuse me, my hair is really bothering me. Couldn't believe like the story as to how we got here, and so I really just wanted to make a video to explain because I got pregnant on an IUD. It was not the plan for me to get pregnant. My husband and I got married in September on the 23rd of 2019, and I'm sorry, of 2018, and we got pregnant March of 2019. And obviously we were not married for a very long time. We had a 3-year plan. We had everything planned out. I thought the IUD just like, you know, was it. I thought that I had no chance of getting pregnant because it's like 99%, right? Well, wrong. And I remember sitting there thinking I was gonna get my period the whole week. I was carrying around tampons in my pocket. I was like waiting for the floodgates to open. TMI. I was waiting for it, and it never happened. And I remember I just woke up, I was going to the restroom, and we used to have a mirror across from like the bathroom. Like you could see yourself in the mirror, and I was like changing for work. I didn't have a shirt on, and I remember looking in the mirror and being like, okay, that is a little more than like before you start your period, because these chesticle areas were, you know, and I was like, okay, just put it out of my head and was driving to work, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was like, surely not, surely not. And then I got to work and I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and I still like was carrying around tampons and stuff, and was like, okay, just waiting for it to happen. And then I just thought, you know what, like I don't know, and I was just like, okay, what is happening? So I got a pregnancy test at work, and I took one. It lit up like a Christmas tree. I tell you, like typically, you know, you let it sit for however many minutes. No, this thing lit up like a Christmas tree. And I immediately, like, poor guy, I texted my husband and I was like, I'm pregnant. And because he was like, let's just get one. No, actually just get one at work. Because he said, you know, we'll get one when we get home and just try it out, you know, see, and just have peace of mind. Basically insinuating that I wasn't, but we'll just take a pregnancy test so it can tell me that it's negative and then just move on. No, I took one at work. We decided that, and then I texted him, and he didn't text me back within 0.5 seconds. So I called him and I told him, babe, I'm pregnant. And I immediately had like tears. I think I was just so overwhelmed. Like obviously pretty soon after that it kicked in, and I was like, I'm so excited, but it was shock, pure shock at first that this was not the plan. What? I'm not ready. Like I just got married. I'm just learning how to be a wife. And so yeah, it was kind of a weird thing. And then my husband's over here like not even thinking about that. He's just like telling random people in Costco. And I kind of want to make a video of like his reaction to it also. But anyways, my initial thing was like, okay, I have an IUD. Like if I'm pregnant, is this false positive or what is it? Isn't it ectopic pregnancy, which means it's in your tube and you have to get like, it's not a viable pregnancy, so you need to get it removed because it could cause a lot of issues. Like, what is it? And so I started putting 2 and 2 together as far as symptoms went, and I was like, okay, so I had cramping. Sorry, I'm trying to like think about it. But I had cramping only on one side. And then I had woke up with a shoulder pain, and literally, like, if you know anything about ectopic pregnancies or tubal pregnancies, like those are symptoms that come along with them. And I was just like, okay, I need to go to the hospital, or I need to call my doctor ASAP. And so I called them. I said, hey, I have an IUD. I just took a pregnancy test. What's the deal here, because it's positive? And she said, oh, it might be a false positive, we can get you in on Tuesday. And this was a Friday. And I'm like, no, that's not good for me. So I didn't want to do anything right off the bat, and I ended up calling the doctor's office back after hours to talk to the on-call physician, because when I had talked to them initially, I didn't put two and two together all the symptoms I'd been having of that, because I'd been having bleeding all week. I had been, you know, having cramping, the shoulder pain. And so I called the on-call doctor after hours, which happened to be the OB that I switched to. And so she was like, no, you need to come into the ER, you need to get it checked out. So me being me, I was like, I'm just gonna wait on it. So I didn't go in that night, and the next day was Saturday, so I went to my mom's and told her. So there's something about, like, when you're, I don't know, in my situation, I just wanted my mom. I wanted that comfort of her. She'd been pregnant before. She, you know, your husband doesn't understand to the extent, or at least mine didn't, because, you know, he just doesn't think like that. He's a guy. And I was just like, I need to tell my mom. So I went over there and I showed her the pregnancy test, and she was like super excited. And then I was like, but I'm really nervous, those type of things. And I was just still in shock at this point. I hadn't processed. And I couldn't be excited because I was worried that something was wrong, because I was just putting all my symptoms together. So I was like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up or be excited about something, because one, it's a shock to me, but two, something might be wrong. And so she called one of our family friends who's an ER doctor, and he was like, yeah, definitely come in. So we went to our local ER, and just so happened that the same doctor that I talked to the night before on the phone was on call, the on-call OB that day. And so it was just kind of crazy, because she walked in the room and she goes, I was so worried about you. I was waiting for you last night to come in. And I don't know why that brought me so much comfort, but it was just like, wow, like, you know, that doesn't really happen, I feel like. Doctors just like have so many patients that come in and out. They don't really think about that. They're just like, okay, on to the next one. Like, if they're not gonna take care of themselves, then that's fine. You know, but it was just that like heartwarming, fuzzy feeling. And I knew immediately, like I want her. And even like going forward for my annuals and everything, like my pap smears, all that, like I want her. And so immediately I'd already made up my mind, like I'm leaving my old doctor, which, you know, no fault, well, kind of fault, whatever. But I immediately switched, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I just love her. And so she ended up doing an ultrasound, and I was 4 weeks pregnant when I found out that I was pregnant. It was insane, because on the ultrasound you could literally see the IUD, and then so if you don't know about IUD, it kind of like is like a little stick at the bottom, and then it splits off into like two things like this, and then there's like little strings that come down. So it was like split like this, and there was a little sac and a yolk in there. Like the baby, who is now Olivia, like she wasn't even implanted yet when I found out I was pregnant. So there wasn't actually like a baby in there yet. I was just preparing to have this baby and grow this baby. And so it was just really crazy to see. And there was immediately, I think, more shock because I'd prepared myself for the worst, that like the baby and everything was in the right spot. So it actually was in my uterus, it wasn't in my tube. It was just crazy sitting there, seeing on that ultrasound the IUD clearly, and then a little sac right above it, like where my daughter would grow. And yeah, it was just insane seeing that. My mom immediately started crying. My husband was there too, and was just like, oh my gosh, you know, like I can't believe this was the pre-corona. So everyone was allowed to be there. And yeah, we just sat there and kind of were in shock. Obviously we couldn't hear a heartbeat or anything like that because the baby wasn't actually like implanted yet, but everything was just being prepared. All that to say, I was in there and I officially did get pregnant on an IUD. The IUD got removed that day and I had to take medication because of the higher risk of miscarriage due to getting pregnant with the IUD. And it was kind of crazy because I know people like get pregnant on IUDs like kind of a lot, I feel like, but it's still a very, very low chance. I mean, there's so many people in the world, so you can hear of a lot of people getting pregnant on them, but it still be a low percentage, and that's kind of how it is. Doctor on call had never had somebody get pregnant on an IUD, and my office, the original office that my old OB was, like, never had anybody get pregnant on it. So it was just kind of crazy. I had to take some medication to make sure that everything was going to be continuing healthily. And even it was kind of funny too, because we were in there and one nurse came in and she was pregnant. She was actually being a surrogate, which was so cool, but she was like, I just have to come in and meet you because I got pregnant with my son on an IUD and this like never happened, so I just wanted to come and say hi. And it was just so cool because we like immediately bonded off of getting pregnant with birth control. So anywho, all that to say, like, that's my story with getting pregnant on an IUD, and I never in a million years thought that would be our story. I thought we were good, but I wouldn't change it for the world because now I have the precious Olivia Jade. She is about to be 6 months old, and I don't know, I'm just so glad that it happened the way it did because ultimately God's plan is over ours, and He knew that we needed this baby girl in our life because we wouldn't be where we are now without her, and our family just wouldn't be complete. But I just really wanted to film this video to tell my story because when I got pregnant on an IUD, I was looking for all of these different stories like that were similar to mine. So if you got pregnant on an IUD, like, I want to know. I want to like have that in common with you, or you know, if you just like this video. This is my very first YouTube video and I am just so nervous. Like, I don't know why I made this one my first video, but anyways, I hope to make new videos in the future. Like, I have ideas, and I really want Preston's opinion. That's my husband, Preston, like, in his story about when we found out we were pregnant, because it was so funny. Like I mentioned, he literally told random people in Costco, and he did. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for you, and I hope you guys have a good day.